through his word. We shouldn't take the word of God for granted. We shouldn't become too familiar with the word of God to the point that we water down the message that God gives us. We are people of faith. We are people of hope. We are people who believe in the resurrection of the dead. And based on that, Paul is telling us that we will all be judged by God individually. It only means that we will give an account of whatever we are doing in this life to God one day. We are like stewards who have been given an opportunity to serve. And so when the time comes, we'll be called to account for our stewardship. What account are we going to give? What account will I give? What account will you give as an individual? And what account are we going to give as a family? Are we going to tell the Lord that we listened faithfully to him and walked in the path that he showed us? Or we'll tell him that no, whilst on this earth, we allowed the world to dictate to us. And so we followed the world. And based on the accounts that you give, you will either be rewarded or not rewarded. The reward is only an indication of the choices that you made whilst on this earth, the choices that I made whilst on this earth. We learn from the past to become wise. Let us not take things for granted, dearly beloved. Paul is saying that we cannot judge one another. Judgment is a prerogative of God. He is the one going to judge us. We shouldn't be disturbed as to what people say about us whilst on this earth. Once our conscience tells us that we are doing the right thing, and we know that whatever we are doing is in line with God's own commandments, God's teachings, let us move on. It is better to be against the world and stand for God than to stand against God and be for the world. Because in the end, it is not the world that will reward you. It is God our Father who will reward you. That is why Jesus Christ is encouraging us that in the midst of uncertainties, in the midst of the crises and challenges that we face in this life, is giving us an open invitation. He says we should come to him with our worries, with our troubles, with our struggles, with our ailments, our failures. He will help us to carry them, to replace them for us. He will give us a yoke that will be very easy for us to carry. There are times that we take God out of the equation and we feel that, we can do it all by ourselves. You will start